This is the moment I live for, and I know it's the moment my clients will never forget. It's the moment the client gets to see their home for the first time. This is after we finished building the home, and now we've also furnished it. We welcome you to see what they see when they arrive, and this is the reveal. Everything about the inside started with the outside. As you can see, we've got a flare, some crisp edges, some hardscape that's interesting, and yet we've balanced it with organic items that soften, like these benches that are unusual, mixing the wood and the natural textures with the stone. It's all about the mix of those textures. You see it from the rock, which is also just a stacked dry stone, very modern in its landscape. And of course, the warming of a fireplace right on the front porch. Sign me up. There's nothing not to love about this steel door. When people arrive, they touch it, they know it's authentic. It's because it's natural. It's not powder coated or painted. You can see the umber of this natural steel, and that starts the theme inside. I'm hoping you feel that sense of natural the minute you walk in. I know that when the client arrived, they did cry. In this one, it was the most fulfilling moment of my life because I wanted them to be happy. Looking around, you can see the art that we curated that they had never seen before the reveal. And I feel like I was matching it constantly with the woods and the tones in the house. You can see that the colors used in the house are actually more expressed in texture than in paint colors or rug colors or sofa colors. I am looking for things like this amethyst that is a dark purple. You can hardly see the color, it nearly looks black, but oh, the naturalness of crystal. When I first met this client, that's when she started to tell me her story. She was wearing a crystal, as am I. And so I knew we related on an ethereal level. I knew that she was one that I could bring in this ethereal quality that sort of expresses sanctuary. So I immediately approached the home with this sense of letting down and quieting your life. And that is what we all need. Right after the entry, we come into the Blissful kitchen. And the intent of our kitchen, because we know we can never get anyone out of the kitchen. So I wanted to bring the two worlds together. So we've bleeded the family room right on into the kitchen experience. This is grounded by these wonderful brass pendants. I'll never forget when the client told me he didn't like brass. Give it a year, I said. And in that time, I was able to move them from what they knew, the rules they had made, maybe rules that were just burdens in life, and I increased their borders and allowed them to start to imagining real finishes they'd never lived with. On this kitchen, we incorporated this brass yet again on the details all throughout our hood, particularly a very simple hood. Again, the lines of the house are meant to be very straightforward, very masculine in a way, but dealt with very quietly so that the eye is not looking everywhere all at once. You can see the beautiful natural brass, and then we enhanced it with a detail all around the cabinetry. One of the most unique things, and something I just crave, is using the backsplash just like the slab of the countertop material. That's when it oozes sanctuary. That's when it's quiet and you're not looking at too many chiclets on a backsplash. Your eye is settled, and that's the way I like to live. I have put together a group of some of the items I had sprayed out on my office table for the client to see how they felt when they looked at these fabrics and finishes, and if it caused them to feel something, if they related. That's how I start every project. I think it's important that they even talk about fabric when we're still talking about what the roof is going to be on a house, or what the faucet will be, or even the color of the driveway. I think fabrics do a lot of talking. You can see the finishes, you can see the colors, the hues, and you begin to say, ooh, I do like organic modern, which this house exudes. It might help me understand if they tolerate blues, if they like pinks, which I'm kind of having a crush on right now. In fact, this is my favorite color. I call it champagne nude. I made that up, but I think it looks like that. It's also where you find out if your client tolerates veins or action in their countertops. So we always show some more quiet countertops to start. Most people don't realize that the movement in our countertops, like you see here, really just speaks to the earth, and it's amazing. I want natural. I want to see what the earth has made. And as long as I put something subtle behind it and with it, then I don't mind and I appreciate all of that action. As we go into the dining room, oh my gosh, they do eat here. It looks like they leave it set up all the time. This is how it looked during the reveal. I always try to set up a little bit of what I call gracious living. I think clients appreciate seeing what I would do for their dining. And in this case, we went with faux cowhide on the placemats, and I think it added that texture. We're in Utah, so these people were from Tennessee. They moved here to have just a respite and thought they'd keep both homes. But after they lived in this home, they decided to sell the other and make this full time. I took it as an ultimate compliment that they lived better in this location than perhaps their other, and that's what matters most. I want you to look at the rugs. These rugs represent my favorite things. I am kind of a rug guru because I feel like rugs are really the starting point on your design. It's not like you can go around and find the rug for the perfect decor you've already purchased. I start with rugs, and they tell a story of their own. You can see this natural, organic, yet modern design, and then the colors just oozing natural. And I do believe this is a blue color. Most of the time people call this gray, but I see blue in almost everything, and I love it. When it comes to gorgeous rugs, we're looking to see if our client is willing to layer rugs. What does layering rugs do? It gives an informality. You can see here we went from the hide rug to this beautiful blue graphic rug. These chairs are meant to swivel so we can appreciate the views of Utah. They have a ski in, ski out situation. I'm jealous. Obviously, the crystals tell the story. I mixed them in everywhere that I could. And again, my client had not seen any of this before the reveal. That's kind of a fun client. I had a lot of latitude, and with that, I take it, and I do my best, actually. But I try to arrange this in an interesting way rather than what you typically see. This had to be powerful because over here, we have the TV, which I always have to deal with. I always want to rest the television on something dark. I want the TV to be out and about because it is what it is. Look, we're gonna watch it, but how can I make it more pleasing? If we rest the black TV on this natural steel, it goes away. I can tolerate it. And of course, nothing like a big, long, beautiful modern fireplace. My love affair with furnishings is great. I'm always looking for something that has an architectural shape to it. And as you can see, the lines and details on this sofa are cool in and of themselves. But number one, they have to be comfortable. This is part of the entry experience. Now, if there's one place there's gotta be impact, it's right when you walk in. So we used a vinyl wall covering, an insanely gorgeous light fixture, an original piece of art a client had never seen, but I think it represents the house. And then, of course, this beautiful nude champagne pink. The bedrooms, again, have to be an extension of the outdoors, which you can see are right out that window. We wanted to bring in natural on the headboard wall. Headboard walls are meant to be used. It's a smaller area so you can spend a little money for impact. Here we used hide on hair with a little bit of metallic. You can see our artwork is very natural crystal, and then our bedding. We love hotel bedding that you want to just float in, but we always want to add that element of natural. You can see if you get up close that this is all handmade. Now, not everybody lives like this, and I know that. But if you can take the ingredient of natural finishes, fabrics, wools, linens, you will find that your home feels more comfortable and less formal. We have our ceilings, which are cedar, where we did just a slight grayish wash. Those mixing of woods are what makes it interesting. And of course, a little cup of tea to read a book on isn't half bad. And this is my favorite thing I did for her. I went around and collected for 1 year all of these crystal, and I just threw them out on the table. She's never moved one thing. I love that about her. I love a double door entrance to a bedroom. I beg of you to try. Okay, I also noticed my client's purse when I met her for the first time. Well, it turned into this. Holy cow, I've never done a purse boutique inside of a bedroom, but this takes the cake. And every once in a while, she'll text me and say, I got a new bag. And I'm like, great, let's show it off. So we custom did this whole purse rack, guessing the sizes of her purses using, again, that natural steel. All the way over to here where we've immersed a floor-length mirror because, of course, she has to check herself out. This all leads to her closet, which feels a lot like the purse boutique. Wow. Her clothes, this tells you the story as well. Every home has a story. Of course, we can all do a standard closet, but I think when it's a place that you visit every day, it matters. So we went for it, and you can see this peninsula in the middle of this beautiful closet with still yet the detail. Things that matter because she's touching them. We went with a faux snakeskin on top. She can pack her suitcase. She can use this cupboard and enjoy these wonderful seamless finger pulls, my favorite thing. And then, of course, we have a washer and dryer, because who wants to walk downstairs? Come on in the bathroom. Talk about master bathrooms. Well, since when have we had a double door entrance? That was a first for me, and I love it. This thing is huge. They have two-sided, although I'm not sure, they may just use the one. It all started with this selection of a piece of marble that my client fell in love with. That was a good thing for me to hear because I love it interjected to all of this modern, clean, and natural stone. Only one busy part, the rest is quiet. The vanity is meant to feel luxurious. I mean, we started with a piece of very simple mirror and lit it with LED. It's good to remember LED is not expensive, and you don't have to change the light bulbs, so go ahead and throw it in either above or below your vanities. I don't know if every client can tolerate a vessel sink. A lot of times I'll hear that's not what they're interested in, but it does give off a very cool factor. And I do love setting the faucet to the side rather than the predictable behind. I believe a master bedroom should be a little bit sexy, very soft, and very inviting. So I went with 2 chase lounges, and I do want you to catch this rug. It's ridiculous. It's super soft, and again, speaks to natural. Look at this view. This is where it all begins. Who would not want to look out at this beautiful Deer Valley? Now I've got to make a bed. So I'm going to share a few tips. Rather than always putting the pillow one on each side, we tend to offset. So I'm going to kind of throw a little bit this your way and see if you can kind of see what my goal is. This is a beautiful duvet cover that again has very little certainty. It's left obscure and fun and soft. And we don't want to make it so perfect that the bedding does not look inviting. And it needs one more thing, this right over the top. The idea is to allow this to be what we look at. And again, the love affair is the natural stone marble material. We were given a little issue here. We wanted to bring this bed forward to the view. So we created a wall, pulling it forward in the room and then creating details that did not take away from the view. So it's very quiet, but yet it's soft and warm. Adjacent to the bed is the office. What a great position to work in. You can go and come, work, not work, but it's there and it's comfortable. I love the way this got set up so that I'm still appreciating all the views and I'm in a very warm surrounding to actually work. You can see the artwork participating. Again, the brass. I've thrown up a wall covering in the back that's not about color, just texture. Leaving the bedroom is an experience every single day because you get to look down at the beautiful living room and great room and still pick up on the view of the mountains. This kitchen, living room, family room is a setup that is just impact every which way, starting with the long pendants. Some people will say to me, can you do a pendant 20 feet down from a ceiling? Yes. I love looking out at the dining room, the kitchen layout, and then the family room. And they speak to each other just as they should. It's comfortable, they flow as one, and you can leave the people in the kitchen or they can easily roam into the dining or the family room. Oh my gosh. I think this is why they moved from Tennessee to Utah. It's made for sunbathing and for looking at the view. I just love the simplicity here and the black rock, the texture. You feel like you're all alone up at the top of the mountain. All right, we don't all get an elevator, but if you do have one, make sure it's all glass. This is amazing. I want you to enjoy the mix of woods that I've used in this house. Instead of thinking you have to stick with all white oak or all walnut, in one area, we've used white oak on the stairs, reclaimed wood on the walls, and then cedar on the ceiling. I love the mix. Let's go see where the fun really happens. As we come to the lower level, this is where the play happens, the wet bar, the pool table, and the huge sectional amphitheater. Of course, you need to always come down to a view, and in this case, we've got the ski run that leads off of Deer Valley. We've got the fireplace, which has, again, a hidden TV, because of course, it's on the black steel. Then we have the cool lighting tracks coming through the room in a way that's architectural and not recessed cans everywhere in a ceiling. You've got to watch for that, because if you're not careful, every builder in town will give you too many recessed cans. Now this is a lounge I could live with. We've put the biggest sofa you can think of and a theater all next to each other, not too far from the surround sound, and yet in here somebody else might be enjoying a different show. We've put a wet bar nearby because it's fun, and of course a pool table. This is the kind of wet bar I can live with. We brought in color, sexy demure lighting, a cool countertop with a little bit of blue in the action, art, brass, and of course open lit LED shelving and all the works. As we come through the hallway nearby, this is when I say, oh yes, I do like color, and I love this shine on this artwork and the very vivid emerald green, another favorite color of mine. Now let's go see the sauna and the spa. This is where the magic starts. Rather than a workout room with wall-to-wall mirrors, we chose to frame a mirror that's big but still interesting. Also, why not lean your art instead of hang it? Again, an ode to informality. And as we go into the restroom, oh my gosh, it's not just a bathroom. It's a beautiful bronze glass shower. It's a gorgeous vanity with the reclaimed wood coming back in and the double faucets in case two are using this. And this is my favorite. Check out this saucy bronze smoked glass into the sauna. You don't have to put the wood all the way around. Why not add this little bit of a glow, a little demure, some guessing. When it's a little bit of a mystery, it's always more interesting. Let's see, when you put your house in the mountains, why not have a ski run? It only makes sense. And for them, they just ski right down this hill, come in this cool ski storage room and put their skis in, warm their boots, and sit and rest for a minute, and then get upstairs for some hot chocolate. This is kind of the game room area. We started with this cool detailed game table and these leather chairs. You can kind of see the remark is interesting, and it's a total mix of woods, which again makes things informal. When you have an area and you just don't know what to do with it, I go to art. Art has been the theme in this home, as you can tell. So I went for a triptych and curated these colors that went with the natural and the vibe of these folks, and then just put a resting spot. Probably no one sits here, but it makes you want to enjoy reading a book. Let's look at the laundry room. Okay, I know you all agree, even the laundry room matters. It's got to look good and above all, feel good. We use it constantly. So of course we handled the practical side, that's number one. But I believe in the 50-50 rule, which means anything practical can also be beautiful. I didn't need drapes because I have blinds that I've hidden into the ceiling, which I highly recommend. But I did decide to throw drapes on the wall itself. They don't even open. Drapes aren't just about getting rid of light, they add texture. And you can see in this bed, once again, a little bit of an informality, letting the focus be on the accoutrements, but letting the bedding itself be washable, cozy, and soft. This is my favorite part. I mean, in case I get a little lazy or tired, I'll just take an elevator, and it drops me out right down on the bottom floor with this beautiful thing to look at. And besides the beauty, I can pull these ottomans out and add more comfortable seating for my guests. Lighting in your house really matters, and mixing it up is the name of the game. So here we've used a double recess can and framed it all in the same color so we don't have a black hole in the ceiling. It's that mix of surprises that makes it interesting. And this is a gallery. I love the walk down this hall as it leads to the last guest room. Love a little detail thrown in so that we have storage, but we also have interest and not just a boring wall. This is one of my favorite headboard walls and beds. This was all custom designed, and I love the texture, so succulent and soft. But the most important thing in this room is this very green, dark emerald, real wood wall covering. Love the way it enters the room and gave me a color which I could work with. And I used it throughout the room. I love the dresser with the painted white oak so that we could see the grain of the wood mixed with that brass. That is one of my favorite pieces in the house. This bathroom is a great example of using vinyl wall covering to create interest, throwing a piece of art in an obscure way, leaning it to keep it more informal, adding a sconce for interest, and asymmetrically locating the sink. Accessorizing can be a chore. I like to keep it simple. Less is more. So find things that matter and really add up to the scheme in your house, and wait until you find the perfect thing, as I did. Of course, when I saw this, I was like, yes, it has to happen. Well, that's the story of this home. And next time we'll see the next story, because we know what it takes to make a house a home. I'm Anne Marie Barton, and this is The Reveal.